Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and I'll be going over the best decks post-patch. This patch was quite large, quite juicy. A lot of very popular cards got hit, as you can see here. Most of the cards hit were found in the most popular and powerful decks that we've seen on ladder. So with that, we also got buffs to cards that were like underplayed. So a lot of the Starship stuff got buffed, and just generally based around the new expansion, the Great Dark Beyond. So decks that got deleted was Big Mage. Haven't seen any of that anymore. And then the OTK Druid, because the Chalice no longer goes face, that deck is gone as well. However, decks that have stuck around and are still very popular, we'll take a look at the first one here, is the Dungar Druid. This is a deck I saw a lot today because it pretty much didn't get any changes to it, and you can cheat out giant minions very quickly. The Thunderbringer is going to summon an elemental and beast from your deck. The elementals and beasts in the deck, there are the Stargrazer, which is the 8/8 elusive taunt spellburst, give your hero +8 attack this turn. And then the elemental is going to be the Space Rock, which splits into a bunch of parts and is very, very hard to deal with. It goes wide. It's just a very sticky big minion. In order to bring back all of your taunts and everything, it runs the Hydration Station as well. And then another card it runs to summon a lot of minions quickly is going to be the Travel Master Dungar. So summon 3 minions from your deck that are from different expansions. You also can then hit your Eleanor and then refresh the mana crystals and then be able to have even more insane turn. We also run a massive amount of ramp because we have to get to our later stages of the game quickly. So double Innervate, double Trail Mix, double Gift, double New Height, double Pendant, double Oaken Summon, double Crystal Cluster. All of this is going to help your early game or ramp you into late game. You really only need one of the big minions to summon the rest of them, and then the board is sticky, and then you just keep on basically going in from there. The only other card in this deck, can give or take, is a lot of people like to run the Ceaseless Expanse card. So if is there anything in the deck that you don't like, you can take it out, but this is the most popular list found at the moment. Moving to another very, very popular deck a lot of people are having fun with, that's going to be the Asteroid Shaman. So the point of the deck is the asteroid cards. So this is Battle Cry, shuffle asteroids into your deck. They deal 2 damage to a random minion drawn. You can go ahead and buff them with stuff like the Behemoth, so you make your asteroids do more damage. They also work with the spell power cards, so you can run oracles. It gives +1 spell power, and then the spell burst is you draw 2 cards, which means you're probably going to draw some asteroids. Or you can use stuff like the Triangulate to be able to discover them from your deck, shuffle more in, do more damage. It also runs the Shudder Incendious combo, which is a lot of damage as well. A new inclusion in the more refined list is going to be the Magatha, because you're able to draw 5 cards. There's not too many spells in this deck, and the spells that you would give your opponent don't really matter, because ideally you're just drawing into your asteroids and your eruptions, and even if you do give them stuff, you're just killing them in that same turn anyway, because they took so much damage. The Molted Magma did get nerfed, so this no longer hits your opponent in the face, but it's still really good to field clear with the spell power. But if you don't want to run Molted Magma, you could always just like replace this with like Blood Mage or something like that. But yeah, Asteroid Shaman, very well-rounded mid-range deck. It's pretty straightforward to play, and definitely very beginner to intermediate friendly. Moving to a deck though that is the smoothest. I hated Libram Paladin when it existed before, and now they buffed Libram Paladin again. I saw it was like 40% Libram Paladin today on ladder. I despise Libram Paladin. I hate it so much, and it is now going to most likely be one of the most popular decks on ladder. Unfortunately, this is the easiest, best deck to play. You just play the green cards over and over and over again, and you're going to do just fine. If you could see the deck, we're 29 out of 30, and that is because I refused to craft the latest piece of the deck. So she's the 30th card in the deck. Obviously, you get 3 different Librams from the older timeline, which is the Wisdom, the Justice, and the Hope. So for those of you unfamiliar with Librams, I don't know how you would be, but if you are, they're cards like this. That Battle Cry and Death Rattle reduce the cost of your Librams, and then you have Librams in the deck like Libram of Divinity, which is give a minion +3/+3. If this costs 0, return this to your hand at the end of the turn, which means eventually you're just going to have a whole bunch of 0 mana, give minions +3/+3. You get them back at the end of the turn, and you just keep replaying this over and over again forever. So if any minion ever sticks on your board, you're just going to keep buffing it, and then you kill your opponent. What people are also doing now is they run Leroy. So you have Leroy, you have a bunch of buffs that cost 0 mana, and then you kill your opponent from there. You also even run the Lanessa, so you could play Lanessa and then Leroy, and then when you play your 0 mana buff cards, it triggers them twice. And then you can go ahead and basically do, it's like hand buff Paladin, but inside of Libram's later stages of the game. And then you also run Holy Glow Sticks with the Lanessa as well. So each one of these, they goes to 1 mana if you played a Holy Spell the turn before. Of course you did. Holy Spells are going to be green cards that cost 0 mana. So you're going to be able to play this for 1 mana, but it does 8 damage as well with the Lanessa. So there's quite a few OTKs you can just do with Libram Paladin now, on top of just of how aggressive it is. Keep in mind, all of the Libram cards and synergies are mostly Drain Eyes as well. So you're going to be able to play cards that draw Drain Eyes, which help you get to your Libram stuff. You also run, I've seen a couple people with this Orbital Satellite because it's Discover a Drain Eye, which you can discover the new legendary that gives you the other ones, or more discounts, which a lot of people are using it as well because this is a Drain Eye, which reduces the cost of your Librams by 1. So there's just a lot of synergies in this deck. The whole point is to play all the green cards, play all the 0 mana cards, and you just do that every turn until your opponent dies. And like I said, I gotta cover it because it is one of the best decks right now, and we saw it a lot today, and it seemed to be very strong with the recent buffs, but you will probably find it to be exceedingly boring very, very quickly, because how you win is exactly the same every single game, and you're playing exactly the same cards every single game. So terrible, in my opinion, deck for it to be good. I swear, if this meta goes from being what we had, which was super diverse and pretty fun, and now Libram Paladin is back and it's like 50% of my games, I'm not going to be happy. But we're still in day 1 of the new balance change, so maybe things shake up to be a little bit different from what I like, the direction it is heading. And it is heading in a direction that is not as good as the meta we just had. So with that, if there's any other decks that you're seeing pop up that seem good, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. Enjoy some of these new decks and have fun as always. I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.